You know what can ruin an entire night? One mosquito. Not 10, not a swarm. One. One tiny flying needle in your bedroom, making that little sound near your ear like it has a personal problem with you. You turn on the light. It disappears. You turn off the light. It comes back. You hide under the blanket. Now you are hot. You stick one foot out. Now the mosquito has dinner. And this is happening inside a modern house. With walls, with windows, with screens, with bug spray, with electricity. With the ability to dramatically say, I cannot live like this while lying on a mattress. Now imagine being an ancient human. No window screens, no sealed bedroom, no bug spray, no electric fan, no little zapper thing in the corner, no soothing anti-itch cream waiting in the bathroom cabinet. Just you, the dark, your skin, and a tiny flying creature that does not care about your survival journey. Ancient life was not just big predators, freezing nights, hunger, and dangerous storms. Sometimes the enemy was much smaller and much more annoying. Bugs made ancient life miserable, not just because they were irritating, but because they were everywhere. In the grass, in the dirt, near water, around food, inside bedding, on animals, on skin, in hair, around wounds. And right when a tired human finally tried to sleep, the bugs clocked in for their night shift. Today, bugs feel like an occasional problem. A mosquito at a barbecue, ants in the kitchen. A fly that somehow becomes impossible to catch the moment you grab a shoe. But for ancient humans, bugs were part of the environment. You did not get away from bugs. You negotiated with them badly, and mosquitoes were probably the easiest ones to imagine. If your group camped near water, wetlands, rivers, lakes, or damp areas, mosquitoes could become a constant problem. And ancient humans needed water. They had to drink. They had to follow animals. They had to gather plants. They had to stay near places where life could survive. Unfortunately, bugs also enjoy places where life survives, so the same areas that helped humans stay alive also made humans very biteable. And unlike a lion, a mosquito did not need to be brave. It did not need to roar. It did not need to chase you across a plain. It just needed a tiny opening. An ankle, a wrist, a neck, an ear. Ancient humans could probably handle many things with courage, but courage does not stop itching. Stop. Imagine trying to sleep after a long day of walking, carrying tools, finding food, avoiding danger, and keeping a fire alive. You finally lie down. Then the mosquitoes arrive. One on your arm, one on your leg, one near your face, one in your ear. Suddenly, you are not sleeping. You are slapping yourself in the dark. And the worst part is that bugs did not just bite. Some crawled, some burrowed, some hid, some lived in hair, fur bedding, clothing, shelters, and animal skins. Lice, fleas, ticks, mites, flies, ants. Ancient humans were surrounded by tiny problems that could turn daily life into a full-body complaint. And yes, this is where ancient life gets uncomfortable, because humans were not living in perfectly clean little museum displays. They were sweating, bleeding, cooking, carrying animal hides, sleeping near dirt, sharing close spaces, handling food, handling plants, handling animals, walking through grass, sitting on the ground, and wearing simple clothing that could trap heat, smell, dirt, and tiny passengers. If a group had bedding made from grass, leaves, hides, or plant material, that bedding could be useful. It could also become a bug hotel. Congratulations, you invented a mattress, so did everything else. And then there were ticks. Tiny, patient, rude. Ticks did not need to fly around dramatically. They could wait in grass or brush, latch onto skin, and make themselves very difficult to notice. Today, finding a tick is stressful enough. Now imagine finding one without a bathroom mirror, tweezers, bright lights, or the internet telling you whether you should panic. Ancient humans would have needed each other. Grooming mattered, checking skin mattered, picking bugs out of hair mattered, helping children mattered, helping elders mattered. A group was not just useful for hunting or protection. Sometimes a group was useful because someone else could see the weird thing crawling on your back. That is friendship. But bugs were not only a skin problem, they were a food problem. Anytime humans stored, carried, dried, gathered, or cooked food, insects could show up. Flies around meat, ants around sweet foods, beetles and larvae near stored plant foods. Tiny things crawling where tiny things should not be crawling. Modern humans get upset when one fruit fly appears near the bananas. Ancient humans had to protect food without plastic containers, refrigerators, sealed cabinets, or zip bags. Food had to be watched, covered, smoked, dried, stored carefully, moved away from damp places, kept off the ground when possible, and even then, something small might still find it. Because bugs are basically nature's tiny inspectors. They show up and say, "Interesting, is this for everyone?" And then there were wounds. This was one of the scarier parts. A small cut today is annoying. You wash it, you cover it, you complain about it. Ancient humans could not always do that so easily. A scratch, bite, burn, or cut could attract flies and other insects. And that meant keeping wounds clean was not just about comfort, it was about survival. Humans probably learned very quickly that some places were worse than others. Wet places, dirty bedding, rotting food, dead animals, standing water, spoiled meat, bad smells, places with too many flies. Long before anyone understood germs the modern way, humans could still notice patterns. This smells bad, people get sick here, bugs gather there, that wound got worse, that water has too many insects. Do not sleep there, do not leave food uncovered there, move the camp, use smoke, use ash, use plants, cover the skin, check each other. Avoid the worst places. Ancient humans were not helpless. They were observant, and one of their biggest weapons against bugs was probably smoke. Smoke is uncomfortable. Smoke gets in your eyes. Smoke makes your throat feel awful. Smoke follows the one person who just wanted to sit peacefully. But smoke also helps keep many insects away, so fire was not just warmth. It was not just cooking. It was not just light. It may also have been a giant ancient, "Please leave us alone" sign for bugs. Of course, this created a trade-off. Without smoke, bugs. With smoke, coughing and burning eyes. Ancient life loved offering bad choices. Imagine sitting near a fire at night. Your eyes are watering. Your throat is irritated. You shift away from the smoke. The bugs find you. You shift back into the smoke. Now you cannot breathe comfortably. That was not a lifestyle hack. That was survival math. Humans may also have used mud, clay, ash, animal fat, plant oils, or certain crushed plants to make themselves less attractive to insects or to cover exposed skin. Not magic, not perfect, but maybe enough to reduce the misery. Some plants smell strong, some smoke heavily, some oils coat skin, some ash dries things out, some mud creates a physical barrier. Ancient humans would have experimented because they had no choice. If rubbing something on your skin made the bug slightly less aggressive, you remembered it. If sleeping in one place was worse than another, you remembered it. If smoke from one kind of wood worked better, you remembered it. If a certain plant made your skin burn, you definitely remembered it. Trial and error was the ancient review system. 0 stars. Arms still itchy, would not recommend. Clothing also helped, but it was not simple. Covering skin could protect you from bites, but covering skin could also make you hot, sweaty, and uncomfortable, and sweat itself could attract insects. So ancient humans had to balance protection with temperature. Too exposed and bugs had easy access. Too covered and you overheated. Too close to water, more bugs. Too far from water, now you have a different problem. Too much smoke, eyes hurt. Too little smoke, mosquitoes celebrate. This is why daily ancient survival was not one dramatic movie scene. It was thousands of tiny decisions. Where should we sleep? Where is the wind blowing? Is the ground too damp? Are there too many flies? Can we keep the fire smoking? Should we move away from the water before night? Can we cover the food? Who needs to be checked for ticks? Who keeps scratching? And bugs also change behavior. They could affect when people traveled, where people camped, how close people slept to fire, how they stored food, how they cared for wounds, how they cleaned themselves, how they groomed each other, even how they understood certain places. A beautiful patch of land might look perfect during the day. Then sunset arrives and the mosquitoes announce that the land belongs to them now. And suddenly the perfect camp is a nightmare. Modern humans often think of ancient danger as something huge. A bear, a big cat, a storm, a rival group, a broken bone. But ancient misery was not always dramatic. Sometimes it was repetitive, itchy, buzzing, crawling, hard to escape. Bugs probably stole sleep, and lost sleep is not a small thing. A tired human makes worse decisions. A tired human reacts slower. A tired human gets irritated with the group. A tired human misses signs of danger. So one mosquito is annoying. A night full of mosquitoes is a survival problem. And this is what makes bugs such a strange part of human history. They were tiny, but they shaped behavior. They pushed humans toward smoke, toward grooming, toward better shelters, toward coverings, toward cleaner sleeping areas, toward food storage, toward avoiding certain places at certain times, toward learning which smells, plants, ashes, and environments helped. Bugs were not just background noise, they were pressure, tiny pressure, with wings, and it is easy to underestimate how much modern life protects us from that. Screens, sealed windows, clean bedding, trash cans, refrigerators, pest control, bug spray, fans, showers. Soap, medicine, antibiotics, anti-itch cream, vacuum cleaners, plastic containers. The modern home is basically a giant anti-bug fortress. And still, one mosquito gets inside and we act like civilization has failed. Ancient humans did not have that fortress. And still, one mosquito gets inside and we act like civilization has failed. Ancient humans did not have that fortress. They had fire, smoke, hands, memory, group care, trial and error, and maybe a lot of frustrated slapping. So the next time one fly gets into your room and refuses to leave, remember this. Ancient humans were not just fighting hunger, cold, and predators. They were also fighting tiny flying jerks, all night, with no spray, no screens, no sealed doors, no mercy. And somehow they survived. Which means one of the great untold achievements of human history is not just making tools or controlling fire. It is getting through an entire night while being treated like an all-you-can-eat buffet.